adoption in AI. Today, sorry. Actually, let's start with the safe harbor statement, of course. So both Meghesh and I, we are organizing this meetup individually, and we are not representing our companies on this meetup. This presentation is strictly for learning purposes only, and the presenters do not hold any responsibility that the same solution that we present today will work for your business requirements. And this presentation is not meant for any promotional activities. So today your presenters will be myself. I am Myra Wilson, Salesforce Solution Architect. And we have Meghesh Shenoy. He is a Salesforce developer that will be giving us a demo today. So today we're going to walk through a challenge that we are solutioning through automation. The challenge is whenever a lead is created, users want to retrieve information on a company, and then they want to add that information back to the lead record in Salesforce. The current process is very manual, where the user basically types in a company name. They do a lot of manual work, which includes searching and copying and pasting information from the source back to the Salesforce lead record. The solution that we will be reviewing today is to automate the process by using MuleSoft Composer to send a prompt to an AI tool and then have that data come back into the lead record automatically. So this is pretty much a flow chart of the demo that will be given today. It will basically start with a Google Sheet where we will trigger whenever a new row is added. There will then be a query sent to Salesforce to check and see if the organization or account exists in the org already. If the lead exists, then there's nothing to be done. If the lead does not exist, that's when we will be connecting to the LMS tool. We will go over various ways to connect to the tool, and we will request information on the account. The information will come back in, it will go to Salesforce, and eventually push to a Slack channel. So I'm going to hand it over to Meghesh, and he will give us a demo of that, what that connection and that flow looks like for Composer.
Yep. Just give me a minute. I'll share my screen and I think I have some issue with my screen sharing over here. It's Myra, do you have that video available with you? I think I need to restart my browser, it seems.
Sure, let me pull that up really quick and then I can share it. Give me 1 second.
This is great because this is how you know it's a live session.
Right?
I mean, I never expected that I would also come across this issue. And
Do we ever expect to come across these issues? Never. Okay, just let me bring that up really quick and then I can get to sharing it.
Hello everyone.
Okay, I'm going to reshare and then I will get the recording started. All right, here we go.
Hello everyone. Right now we'll be going through a live demo about how we are using generative AI with MuleSoft Composer in order to automate our day-to-day business processes. So as part of the live demo, we are going through a live use case where uh, a sales team is currently marketing a product at a mall and they capture the lead details in a Google Sheet. Now they want the lead details to be present inside Salesforce if the lead does not exist, right? And then eventually we'll push a message to the Slack channel and the Slack workspace informing the sales team of this newly created lead record. So we check if the lead exists. If the lead does not exist in this scenario, I get the description from the generative AI, as well as I draft an email for the lead using generative AI. Now inside generative AI flow, so this is a new flow that I have created. Inside this flow, we can onboard as many as your generative AI models or LLM models as you want. For example, I have two generative AI models, that is Gemini and OpenAI. So if tomorrow you say that you want to onboard another LLM model, or you want to bring your own model, you can easily decouple all of the existing models and just place your model, so that without making any big changes in your existing flows. So as part of it, uh, whenever the lead does not exist, we fetch the description, and this description, so basically we send a prompt to Gemini or your LLM models, like please draft an email to John Dewey about this new deal on Composer ad conditioning, right? And the same thing, we would also fetch description about this lead using generative AI. We send all of, so these prompts can be customized as you want, and we can just make use of this existing architecture in order to bring your own model, or use some of the LLM models that are provided by Google or OpenAI. So once we get all the details using generative AI, I will store the details inside a lead record by creating a lead in Salesforce, and eventually, as said, we'll push a message to the Slack channel informing the sales team about this newly created lead record. So we'll head back to our composer flow. So as said, I have now created a new composer flow called an invocable composer flow. So this the specialty of this composer flow is any external system can invoke this composer flow by making use of flow credentials over here, that is URL, client ID, client secret, and everything. So in this, I will send a prompt message such as write email for John Doe informing me about the product details. And then we will will make a request to OpenAI model about this prompt, and subsequently OpenAI model would send us a response, right? And that response will capture it uh, inside the content. Inside the content, not inside the content, but this is basically where your message will be sent, and then it would be captured inside this content over here in the response. And then what we will do is we'll store the content inside a variable and send that variable as an output. So whenever an external system makes a call out to this composer flow, passing the prompt, and then this composer flow would also send a response back to that external system. The same thing we did it for Google Gemini model. That is, we created the same kind of structure, such as we send a prompt to this LLM model, that is Gemini, and subsequently Gemini would also send a response back to us. For example, this is the response that we get from Google Gemini, and we'll store the result in a variable and pass that variable to the external system that made a call out. And this is a specialty of using an invocable composer flows. It's a webhook which makes so any external system can make a call out to these composer flows. And this is a GenAI summarization composer flow, and this is to an invocable composer flow. The specialty of this architecture is you can easily onboard any LLM model, as well as you can deboard any LLM model as you want without making a big amount of changes over here, right? So what we do is we create a variable called model output, which basically whenever we send a prompt message to any of these models, we'll show the response in this model output. And also, if you have a look at this composer flow wants to parameters from an external system, that is GenAI vendor, it's Gemini or OpenAI or your model name, and the prompt over here, right? So what what content or what information you want from that LLM model. So if you look over here, we are making use of HTTP connector, the same connector we made use in our previous flows, but over here we are directly making call out to an LLM model, while over here we are making call out to our composer flows over here, right? That we had created. That is OpenAI Gen AI flow as well as Google Gemini AI flow, right? So we are directly making use of HTTP connector to make a call out using like setting the parameters at post, simple request, content type, application JSON, and then we'll send the prompt, right? To these composer flows, and then these composer flows would make a call out to our LLM models. And we are making use of simple if conditions over here, that is Gen AI vendor equals OpenAI, right? And then we'll make a call out specifically to the composer OpenAI model over here, and then we store the result in a variable, and then whichever external system makes call out to this composer flow will send a response back, right? As said, the advantage of using this architecture is you can easily onboard and deboard any LLM models as you want, so that you can make this logic reusable across your entire organization, as well as you can onboard or deboard any LLM models as you want, right? And this is our main composer flow that you see. So over here, as said, what we do is we'll trigger this composer flow whenever a new data is entered into Google Sheet, create a variable called description about the firm, email generated result, and GPT vendor, and Slack message. So over here, we also have a action. First, we are making use of error handler. Over here, we check if the lead already exists in the system or not. If the lead does not exist, it would this connector would throw an error, by which will come to this on error block. And what we'll do is we'll make a call out to composer flows, right? To our GenAI summarization composer flows with content type as application JSON, and then we'll set in the GenAI vendor that we want. For example, we can set it Gemini or OpenAI as you want. So this is like making a call out to our Gen AI summarization composer flow over here, right? And once we make a request to this, right? For example, we are sending the prompt as please generate a beautified email for the details that were entered in the Google Sheet over here, right? And again we'll make a call out to the Gen AI summarization composer flow with another prompt such as please provide some information about the company in 100 words about the website, right? The details are all entered in this Google Sheet. So once we make a request to these to come to our LLM models, then we will store it using in a variable called description about the firm, right? And then summarize data, right? So we'll store the result of the API callout that we had made to the LLM models using the invocable MuleSoft Composer flows. And once we get all the data back, what we'll do is we'll create a new lead record with all the details present. And then what we'll do is we have created another variable just to store a Slack message over here, and we'll just push a Slack message to the Slack channel informing the sales team about this newly created lead record over here, right? So this is all about our live demo part of it. So what I will do is I'll go here and I'll enter the details about this new lead, right? And this is the list view, and this is your Salesforce org, right? We'll wait for a couple of seconds for for the composer flow to trigger and create a new lead record. So right now, if I refresh my list view, I can see that a new lead record is created, and if I open this lead record over here, I can see all the details, right? So description about Salesforce as well as the email template, right? It's stored in the in our fields inside a Salesforce, and these all the information is generated by a open by your LLM models. And if I go back to our Slack, I can see that I can see uh, we have pushed a message to the Slack channel informing the sales team about this newly created lead record, and they can open this lead record directly by clicking on this link right inside the Slack. This is all from the demo part of it. Uh, Thank you.
All right. Okay. So I know that was a lot, but I'm going to finish up the presentation and then we will open up questions to Meghesh. Um, if you have any questions on what you just saw with the demo. So, if you want to learn more, please feel free to get involved with the MuleSoft community. You can learn relevant skills there. You can create connections with other people in the community, and you can amplify your impact by engaging with the pioneers and sharing your insights and asking questions and providing answers in the community. Let me hide this. This is a QR code that will take you directly to the community if you would like to join. And thank you all so much for joining. If you have questions, please let us know. You can put them in the chat. Or I believe, I'm not sure if we can take you off the mute or not, Isabella. But if you have any questions about what you just saw, please feel free to ask those now.
Yeah, folks can just add any questions they have in the chat or the Q&A tab. We can go ahead and answer there. Meghesh has already answered a question in the chat and has provided links. So for folks who might have further questions about this session, feel free to pop any questions into the chat or Q&A. We'll give it let's give it like 45 seconds for folks to type in any questions they might have. But thank you both so much for leading the session. It's one of the very few use cases I think right now that's available for folks who are interested in connecting to AI capabilities using MuleSoft Composer.
Yeah, and I think this use case is going to become very prevalent moving forward. So I think we'll be seeing a lot of companies and businesses actually connecting to AI and LMS tools, and this is definitely an option to do that.
I'm also looking into some other options where we can use Salesforce Einstein along with MuleSoft. A whole new space, yeah. So right now we did use OpenAI and Google Gemini models, but I'm also exploring into how we can utilize the Salesforce AI along with MuleSoft Composer.
Oh, that's going to be great. Then we'll have another session and another meetup to go through.
I think we have two brilliant folks who haven't asked us any question till now.
Okay, well, I guess we can end this, give everybody some time back. If you have any questions, feel free to reach